Hi everyone, my name is Johnny. I'm 32 years old. I want to tell you my story. I live with my mother, father, and my elder sister Jennifer. I'm a businessman and I'm the breadwinner for our whole family. But whatever I do, I always do it wrong, and I'm always to blame. It has been going this way since my very childhood. On the opposite, my sister Jennifer has always been the golden girl and the family favorite. She would always get away with whatever she does. To make it even worse, all my accomplishments have never had any value for my parents. But what Jennifer would do, my parents would always love it and praise her a lot. For example, when I won the National Kids Contest in mathematics among school children, I felt so happy and came home proudly waving my gold medal and winner certificate. But I didn't get a single word of praise and admiration from my parents on this one. They did not care about it. Instead, they said, "Why should we care about your medal? It doesn't matter. Just look at the beautiful handmade doll that Jennifer just sewn herself today." As a result, my medal was put away and lost somewhere in the storage room, while a scary handmade doll sewn by Jennifer was proudly demonstrated in the center of our living room. Things became even worse later on. My sister would not do anything throughout all of her life, but she was still the loved one and would get anything she wanted. On the opposite side, I always had to work hard throughout all of my life to achieve my goals. However, later the results of my hard work would be taken away from me. Once I put a very strong effort and worked throughout all of the summer trimming our neighbors' lawns. I wanted to earn enough money to buy a new guitar for me. I was dreaming of becoming a rock star. However, when I proudly got my hard-earned money, my parents demanded that I use it to buy a new computer for Jennifer. I was desperate. I was really dreaming of my new guitar. However, my parents told me that I was selfish and I should be ashamed of myself. And Jennifer is such a great girl, and she needs a new computer to excel in her studies. So it happened, and a new computer was bought. However, it did not help her at all. She did not perform well at school and was expelled from college at the end of her academic year. So the computer was finally sold out to another student, and my parents used the money they received for it to buy her new expensive clothes. However, I was persistent, and I developed my passion for music further on. I kept it all in secret, though. I did not want to tell my parents about that. So by the time I graduated from college, I saved enough money to start and run my own music recording studio. But then, all of a sudden, Jennifer got married, and she needed to rent a house to start her family life. So my parents insisted that I help them out, and all of my savings were used for Jennifer's needs again. A year later, she got divorced, and now all of us are living together in our family house again. Recently, my dad lost his job, and it is not easy for him to find another job now. So now I'm the only breadwinner in our family. I work long hours and sometimes I stay in the office until late at night. I prefer to stay in the office all alone rather than staying at home and listening to my family constant nagging and frustrations. Once, I was staying in the office late at night, and I accidentally clicked on a video with a beautiful white ship sailing across the sea. It looked fabulous. It was a truly mesmerizing picture. High waves were knocking against the side of the ship. The wind was filling the sails. The ship was almost floating above the water surface and was riding off into the sunset. I was mesmerized by this beauty. I tried to imagine how beautiful it should look in real life. And since that day, I got this dream and I was thinking of this beautiful picture every day, every minute. I dreamed of sailing away from all of my family problems and personal frustrations, just as this amazing ship sailed over the waves, easily and graciously. I fell in love with the sea, and my passion got stronger and stronger. I dreamed of becoming a captain of a ship one day. I even started taking painting classes and drawing sea landscapes. I was attending these classes in secret. I did not tell anybody about that and kept my paintings in secret places so that nobody will find them and make fun of me. Time passed, my family life was getting worse and worse. My parents and my sister were treating me in the worst humiliating way. They blamed me for everything they possibly could. Jennifer can't find a job. It's your fault. You're such a highly qualified and professional specialist. My parents told me. Why can't you help Jennifer to get a good job? Do you have some affluent and single friends to introduce them to Jennifer? She needs a new boyfriend to become happy again. I would hear these complaints every day, over and over. And recently, my sister crashed a brand new car that I bought her on her birthday with my own money. And guess what? This was also my fault. Jennifer had an accident. It's all because of you. You don't earn good money. If you would buy her a more expensive and luxurious car, she would feel more confident and happy and would not drink while driving. These were the exact words I heard from my mother. It was getting insane and ridiculous. It was such nonsense. My parents would manipulate me again and again to make me feel guilty all the time, and I just kept silent to pretend I agree with all of this. Throughout all of my life, I had this very uncomfortable feeling that I was a black sheep in my family, and at some point I almost believed it myself, that something was really wrong with me. They would always criticize me, and as a result, it produced a very negative impact on me. My parents would always tell me that I am dull, boring, and tedious. As a result, I never had good friends, as I always thought nobody would like me. At some point, I decided to improve my image and my self-esteem, and I signed up to attend a psychological training on happiness and positivity. But it did not help me either. In fact, I felt even worse, and I still had this deep internal feeling that there was something wrong with me. It was really hard for me, and the only thing that made me happy and optimistic was my passionate dream about the sea. However, I got a problem with that too. My sister Jennifer found out about my painting classes, and then she found the place where I kept my sea landscapes. She immediately told our parents about this. This brought a new scandal in our family. My parents were outraged, and they blamed me and my new hobby for all the family problems we got. They told me that because of my new hobby, I did not dedicate enough of my time to work, and I did not earn enough money to support our family. They were so angry with me that they vandalized and destroyed all of my paintings. When I came home and found this out, I was devastated. It was so brutal. I felt it was just the last straw. I realized it's time for me to get away from this nightmare and get my life back into my hands. I saved money for quite a while to buy myself a yacht. It was my big secret. I did not tell anyone about that. This was my biggest dream, to sail all over the ocean and travel all around the world and never come back. Finally, the moment came when I had enough money on my hands and I bought the yacht I wanted. So I came to the seaport every evening to practice how to navigate it. I was preparing for a great and long journey. But then I got a disaster again. I don't know how it happened, but my parents found out that I was planning to leave them and go away, so they decided to stop me at any cost. When I secretly packed my belongings and left the house, they followed me to the pier. When I arrived at the pier, I saw my precious yacht sinking and going down right in front of me. I felt shocked and devastated. It was my worst possible nightmare. I just stood there, thunderstruck and speechless, watching the yacht and the topmast disappearing under the water. And at this precise moment, I saw my parents and my sister coming around the corner. They told me they organized all of this and they did it for my own good. I was devastated. I just could not believe they would so brutally destroy my last hope for happiness in front of my eyes. I could not stay there and just pretend all is okay. I felt heartbroken and I ran away from the pier in tears. When I ran away far enough so they would not reach me, I stopped and sat down in some deserted place. My cell phone was ringing nonstop. It was my mom. She tried to make me answer the phone, but I could not possibly talk to her after what had happened. I just switched the phone off and threw it into the water. So I sat there until it became dark. I didn't want to go home after what they all did to me. My pain was too strong. There was a big party on one of the yachts on the pier. The music was loud and joyful, and I heard people laugh. So I decided to go there and have a look at it. I came near the yacht. There was a party guest who went out to have a smoke. He saw me and said hello. We had a small talk, and he said he was a bartender on a cruise ship. I told him my story, and I told him about my dream to sail over the ocean, and he said that he would help me get a job on the cruise liner. I did not go home that night. I spent the whole night right on the pier. And in the morning, I called my boss and I told him that I was quitting my job. And then, a little later, I met with my new acquaintance. His name was Frank, and he introduced me to the cruise ship crew. Since then, I have been working on the cruise liner as the bartender's assistant. Since that day, I sailed on a cruise liner all over the world. I have been to all of the world's biggest oceans, and I visited a lot of exotic countries. Recently, we had a cruise to Antarctica, and we stopped by a huge snowy iceberg of incredible beauty. It was about the size of a house. I've seen a lot of amazing places, and I feel so excited. I never called my family since that day, even though I forgave them a long time ago for what they had done to me. Sometimes I even feel I miss them. In fact, if it would not have happened, I would never get this amazing opportunity to travel the world and sail the ocean. Now I think that my difficult family story made me stronger and resourceful, and it motivated me to take this adventure and follow my dream and feel the taste of freedom. Do you think I should call my family and reconnect with them? And what do you think about my story? If you liked my video, subscribe to the channel and give it a like.